all the sponsors, that come aboard, not just this year, but the last 2 years. Probably 90% of them have stayed with me. What I asked them to give me for one race is kind of it's a lot, and a lot of them don't have to do it, but they always come, they always step aboard, and I've got new sponsors this year. I lost a couple from last year just because of the area change and everything, from the southwest to the northwest side, but all in all, I mean, I believe I've picked up more sponsors than I had last year and the year before. So later on, I mean, I'll do my NASCAR, sort of speak, salute to, all my sponsors and everything. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for them, I definitely could not do something like this.
Now, what people don't realize, and people that didn't attend last year, we had a great turnout last year down near the Cincinnati area racetrack there, and which is Route 68. Great track, just some things that work out, especially Mother Nature. But the people that weren't there and are on the fence about going out to State Line here on July 23rd. I was there, Jamie. I had the pleasure of going out there, my wife and I, to announce the event. We had a great time. It was probably one of the best races, even though we didn't get to run a feature because of Mother Nature. I still had a great time. But Jamie did something that at the drivers' meeting I've never seen before. We were at the drivers' meeting, conducting a drivers' meeting, and Jamie, who's live with us right now, got on the back of the truck and said, listen, because of the great turnout, what have you, and some additional sponsors coming in or what have you, he boosted the payout. He didn't take it away. He boosted it. Like some of these races take it away. They're like, oh, well, I'm not going to clear this much money. He gave it all back. And that's kind of, when I talk to Jamie pretty much on at least once a week, it seems now, because we're getting close to the race. Jamie he's always about giving back. Like everything he's taking, he's giving back. You don't see him, I don't even want to get into financial aspects, but I'm telling you right now, because he's a racer at heart. Pretty much all the workers are racers at heart. You got myself, you got Ginger Owens doing the scoring. They've been around racing forever. We got, the track workers, the flagman's been around racing forever. They know how important it is to make sure that, the racers are happy. But again, you can't always make everybody happy. But Jamie boosted the payouts last year. That's just the type of guy that you'll be dealing with when you come there. To this event that, stand up. He's not going to BS you around. He's not going to say, oh, you can run this class, and then when you win, take it away from you, because that just happened last weekend somewhere. But we'll get into that later. But everything's straight up with Jamie Wheeler. If you're on the fence about showing up, because I know there's some new listeners on here right now that clicked on the Bob's link, don't hesitate. Show up. It's going to be a fantastic event. I mean, there's this is probably going to be one of the biggest burst races in the Midwest, and the one following week, because you got two big races back to back. You got yours at State Line, the Midwest Race Champions, and you have the Bourbon City Bash, which I'll actually be down at that one too, doing double duty. But it's going to be. It's just I'm sitting here looking at the flyer, and if anybody else is looking at the flyer, you got Proclone Heavy for $3,000 to win, plus she's paying out top 5, probably even further than that if we see what happens, I guess, on that end. And Proclone Medium's paying $2,000. You got Senior Champs paying $1,500 to win. That's $425. All the information's on that sheet. And I know you said you got some sponsors, and I'm going to give you some time here to chip away at them. But when you started this is a third annual. When you started this 1 year ago, what was your kind of like? What did you want to get out of doing something like this in the Midwest?
Well, Bobby, I mean, the biggest thing that I wanted was, just like we had talked before, it's hard to base good cart counts off of just the money chasers, and it's also hard to base a good cart count off of just the locals. I mean, my whole goal was to go out, work these sponsors, get sponsors to where I can keep everything reasonable at a reasonable cost so everybody can come and do it, whether it's just a local normal guy racing that only has a couple sets of tires. I mean, they can go and race for $3,000 to win. I mean, on a $70 entry fee. I mean, I try to go back to when I was racing years ago in the early 2000s and stuff. I mean, we always used to go to a race in down around Charleston, West Virginia, and I mean, that guy always guaranteed everything. Whatever he said he was going to pay, he guaranteed it, and he didn't hit you with big entry fees and stuff. I mean, he had a lot of locals, but he had a lot of people that traveled and came in from. I mean, I remember Alan Armstrong from the Carolinas being up there one year. So that was my whole goal, I guess, was to keep it straight, keep it to where everybody can come and enjoy it. I know not everybody's going to win $3,000. I know that. I hope everybody has a legitimate chance, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, there are local people that do like to try to see how they stack up, especially if it's their racetrack and they've been racing on. And it's good to see. I mean, because I've been places. I've been a lot of places and saw a local hot shoe, put a drubbing on some of the big dogs. So, and it could very possibly happen, July 23rd up at State Line.
I think we're going to see, some of their local guys, especially, they're going to run into some of these big dogs coming for this tune-up race that they got going on here this weekend. I do believe you said that you were heading up. So they're going to get their taste, and they're going to see, because I'm sure some guys are going to show up, some guys are going to go, a lot of these bigger guys ain't going to make the haul right now. They're just going to go, and, big guy, you're going to be good anyway. But still, like, your locals definitely are going to have an advantage going into that race on the 23rd on It's gonna be fun. I mean, I really hope I absolutely lose my voice. That would be a plus. That means everything was great. And for those of you that don't know, that when we are at State Line, and Jamie knows this as well, and I think I had told some other people as well, as long as I have Wi-Fi or any types of cell phone service, everything will be live streamed. Now, I'm not going to live stream from when I get there. No, we're going to do probably right after practice and time trials and conci races begin and stuff like that and features. So that's kind of another plus that we had this year that we did not have last year. I didn't have the capability of doing it last year, but got involved with this thing and been taking it with me everywhere. So it's going to be one hell of a show, and definitely and hopefully we'll get some feature races in this year.
Well, that's going to be absolutely. I mean, no fault of where we were at last year. I mean, it was like a 10 or 15% chance of rain, and it came in and rained sideways for I don't know how long, 20 minutes or something like that, and it was a flat racetrack, and I mean it just wouldn't drain, but I don't think that I have to worry about that this year. I mean, Scott's been doing this for I think around 20 years. He's been doing that racetrack up there, so I think if we get a little bit of rain or something, I think Scott can make things happen. So.
Well, I know we had talked. I didn't know if you had solidified anything with a rain date or whatnot. I know we had talked about it. I just won't release it, and I'll let you do that. But I didn't know if you had anything set in stone as of yet for official rain date. If you're actually going to use the date that we talked about.
Yes, the rain date would be the next day. It would be Sunday, July 24th. Of course, we would start, a lot earlier. Probably open the gates at 7 or 8 in the morning, and get started hot lapping. Hopefully, 11 o'clock range. But I've had bad luck with rain the last 2 years, and I think the third time is a charm. So I'm not even looking at rain right now. Like I said, Scott has been looking at the Farmer's Almanac for last month, and and he thinks everything's going to be good. So, I mean, like I said, if we get a little bit of a shower or something on Saturday, I don't think that's going to be something that's going to keep us from racing later on. So, I think Scott will do his best. I don't think, I know he will. So that's how much confidence I have in Scott. So he'll do us a super job on the racetrack. So.
Well, everybody I talked to, I forgot who I talked to this weekend, but they've actually been there last weekend. Where I was at when I was at the Brendan and Ochick race, somebody was there that they knew of the racetrack and had nothing but good things to say. And anybody I ever talked to had nothing but good things to say about State Line and about the facility, and they're like super pumped that they're actually got a race like this, and it's showing. As we talked about, your parking is absolutely insane this year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's showing.
I'm up to. I believe I've got 80. I believe I'm up to 85 confirmed reserve spots. That's actually paid for. So I mean, those are all confirmed. Plus 70, around 70 for sponsored parking. So, I mean, as of right now, I mean, it's setting up to look really phenomenal right now. So
now, if people that are listening didn't go last year, Jamie actually tasked me out. We get everything done on schedule. When we say, we're going to start at a certain time, you can bet, as the flyer says here, practice at 2. The first car's going to be on there at 2. We want to get everybody in and out of there as quick as we can, but we're not going to try. We're not going to try and rush anybody. But again, we don't want to be there till 3, 4 in the morning, which I definitely do not think that's going to happen with us actually qualifying at 4. We should be a good show, even with Concies. I don't think we're going to have any types of problems. Racetrack's fast, so I know that we're going to have everything we need to function as a team. It'll be myself, Ginger, Jamie will be there. I forgot the gentleman's flagman. I think you told me he is from New York.
Yes. Yeah, James from New York. Yes, he'll be doing the flagging. He's done a lot of the New York Series, New York State stuff. So, like I said, I'm pretty well bringing in someone that's not from the area or anything. So, my number one goal is I don't think anybody's ever accused me of showing favoritism, and I don't want to start. I don't want to start being blamed for showing favoritism or anything like that. So. I talked to some people that he's done some races. Basically for the last couple of years, he's done a lot of the New York State stuff. So, and we all know how the New York State Series is. I mean, they're getting very good car counts every time they have a race, and that's good to see up that way too. So,
yeah, it's going to be a good show here. So, right now, I'll let you, plug your sponsors, because obviously that's very, very, very important, and they'll obviously get plugged on race day. But you know a little bit more about than I do right now of who we got besides the one I'm looking at on the flyer. So I'll let you take the time right now and go over some of the sponsors that are making the 3rd annual Midwest Race of Champions race happening here on July 23rd at State Line Raceway.
Okay, Bobby. Well, I've got a lot of them here, and that's a good thing. So it's always a good thing to have a lot of sponsors when you're guaranteeing out $15,000 altogether. So first and foremost, Slack Racing Chassis out of New York, Performance Manufacturing. They're just not good friends, but they've always from the word get go. I mean, they were a loyal supporter. They do something that's a little unique. I mean, they donate a brand new 2016 Slack Expect chassis. This thing, I basically built this thing as far as ordering it. It'll have a body kit on it, steering fairing, steering wheel, motor mount. I mean, basically, the lucky winner, if the lucky winner is present on July 23rd at the drivers' meeting, you could put a motor on it, a set of tires, and mount your seat in it, and you can go racing. So, but what they do with that sponsor is, with that go-kart, we take and we do raffle tickets We sell raffle tickets at